So I was browsing through my videos and noticed a glaring missing part, if you will. I've been eluding the subject for a while now, but here I am. Remember the series about NBA draft busts, where I go and research the top draft busts of each decade? We started all the way from the 60s, and a while ago I published the top 25 busts of the 2000s. But hey, it's a new decade, so why don't we do the top busts of 2010s? Hey guys, Purple Prince here, and today we'll look at the top NBA draft bust of the 2010s. And since it's 2020, I'll give you the top 21 busts of the past decade, if that makes sense. Just so you know, I won't include players from last year's draft and 2018, since 2 years is a bit too little to really tell if a player is a bust. And also, this is my list, just my thoughts, so feel free to add your bust to the comment section. With that out of the way, let's start. Number 1. Evan Turner, second pick of the 2010 NBA Draft. Back in 2010, Evan Turner was labeled as Brandon Roy clone with a Scottie Pippen DNA. That's quite a comparison. He was thought of as one of the most efficient and productive players in the nation. He even could be a point guard in this league. That's what his draft profile said. 10 years later, we have a bust. He started his career slow and inefficiently, and that has been the theme throughout his career. He has only 3 double-digit scoring seasons under his belt throughout 10 years in the league, and it looks like that's about it for him. In his best season in Philadelphia, Turner averaged 17.4 points and 6 rebounds, but still, for the second pick of the NBA draft, it's not enough. He has played in 705 NBA games and holds averages of 26.9 minutes, 9.7 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. Number 2. Wesley Johnson, fourth pick of the 2010 NBA Draft. At 23 years old, Wesley Johnson was thought of as one of the more NBA-ready players in the 2010 draft class. He had a strong mid-range game, was athletic, had a huge wingspan. The only weakness they really saw in him was that he was quite old for the draft and might be lacking upside. Well, there was no upside there. Drafted by the Timberwolves, Johnson was their starting shooting guard right away, but never really impressed. You can almost say he topped during his rookie season, averaging 9 points, because through 9 years in the league, he never averaged double-digit points. His best season came in 2015 with the Lakers, when he averaged 9.9 points and 4.2 rebounds, which is not the production you want from your fourth pick. This year, he's not in the league, and if his NBA career is over, he has played in 609 games and has averages of 22.1 minutes, 7 points, and 3.2 rebounds. Number 3. Ekpe Udoh, sixth pick of the 2010 NBA Draft. Boy, you really did not want an even number pick in the 2010 draft. It seems like all busts came from those. Ekpe Udoh was one of them. Selected by the Golden State Warriors, it was believed that he would add size and skill to the team. He added size and some defense with blocked shots, but he never developed anything else. His offensive game was raw before he entered the draft, and it stayed that way for his whole career. He never developed a go-to move, his field goal percentage was awful for a player who plays just in the paint, some years even falling under 40%. For his whole career, he was a bona fide bench player, who in his last years in the league couldn't even be that anymore. For his career, Ekpe Udoh has played in 384 games and holds averages of 14.8 minutes, 3.5 points, and 2.9 rebounds. Number 4. Derrick Williams, second pick of the 2011 NBA Draft. Great athlete who has to work on his game. How many times have we heard that? A bunch. Derrick Williams is just another case of it. Before the draft, he was compared to Michael Beasley, so I guess it just makes sense that Derrick Williams is a bust as well. Besides some highlights of his athleticism, we never saw anything else. He averaged double-digit points in only one of his 7 seasons in the league. Okay, the draft wasn't great to begin with, but as the second pick, you should be more than a bench option. And that's who Derrick Williams was. He last played just 2 games in 2017 for the Lakers at age 26, and since has been out of the league. He has played in 428 games, and his averages in the NBA are 20.7 minutes, 8.9 points, and 4 rebounds. Number 5. Jan Vesely, sixth pick of the 2011 NBA Draft. Jan Vesely wasn't the first time when an NBA team falls in love with the size and raw skills of a European NBA player. The Wizards drafted him number 6 in the 2011 NBA draft and right away appreciated their mistake. Vesely averaged just 4.7 points and 4.4 rebounds in his rookie season, and that was his best year. In his second year, he did even less before being traded during his third season to the Denver Nuggets. In Denver, he didn't do anything either. The problem with Vesely was that he just couldn't do anything. He couldn't shoot threes, he couldn't even shoot free throws, he couldn't rebound as well at 6'11", just a total bust. He has found a nice home in EuroLeague, but in the NBA, he was horrible. He played just 3 seasons in the league, a total of 162 games, and averaged 15.2 minutes, 3.6 points, and 3.5 rebounds. Number 6. Bismack Biyombo, 7th pick of the 2011 NBA Draft. I was actually hesitant to put Bismack Biyombo on this list just because, unlike most of the guys on the list, he's actually been okay in his reduced role, but considering he was a top 7 pick, he had to be here as well. He is an undersized center at 6'8", but I think more was expected from him when he was drafted that high. Soon enough, Charlotte found out that Biyombo isn't a starting center material. For the first 4 seasons of his career in Charlotte, Biyombo averaged more than 5 points per game only once in his rookie season. He did rebound the ball though. For a season, he went to Toronto, where he had his best rebounding numbers, averaging 8 boards per game for the season. Then a 2-year stint in Orlando, where he had a couple of his best scoring years, averaging 6 and 5.7 points per game respectively, before returning to Charlotte, where he has played for the last 2 seasons. He's found his role as an occasional starter/bench type of player, and he does provide some defensive and rebounding value to the team. Considering his draft position though, he's a bust. His career stats: 636 games played, 20.2 minutes, 5.1 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks. Number 7. Jimmer Fredette, 10th pick of the 2011 NBA Draft. One of the best college basketball players of the decade, as he is often referred to, it truly is sad that Jimmer Fredette never really showed anything in the NBA. Before the draft, there were 2 types of people: the ones who really liked him because he can shoot and has an exciting playstyle, and then there were those who didn't like him because he lacked quickness, athleticism, and point guard instincts. Turns out the haters, or should I now call them realists, were right. His best season was his rookie year when he averaged 7.6 points per game. The problem with that, he didn't do anything else. For him, it's just shooting. And even that he wasn't doing as effective as we got used to in college. With every season he played less and less, setting up a personal record with just 6 games and a total of about 18 minutes played during the 2015-16 season. He went to China for a couple of years and returned to the NBA to play for the Phoenix Suns for 6 games, posting horrible numbers across the board. Now he's in Greece, playing for Panathinaikos. He had success in China, but this is the NBA. He's a bust here. His career stats: 241 games played, 13.3 minutes, 6 points, and 1.4 assists. Number 8. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, 2nd pick of the 2012 NBA Draft. A top-notch defender was Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's best quality entering the 2012 NBA Draft. I still don't know how he was the 2nd pick of the draft, but he was, and almost right away it was clear that he is just another bust. He did provide defense but never developed any shooting ability, never could shoot a 3-pointer, and if you just can't progress, every drop of potential you have before the draft has a shelf life. He never has played more than 30 minutes per game for a season and has only 2 double-digit scoring seasons on his resume. He spent the first 7 seasons of his career playing for Charlotte, and lack of his development is also a key contributor to Charlotte being a below-average team all those years. Oh, and the fact that he was often injured didn't help as well. This season, he was waived by Charlotte and joined the Dallas Mavericks. He managed to play in only 9 games for an average of 7.9 minutes and 0.4 points before all this corona trash started. For his career, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist has averaged 24.7 minutes, 8.5 points, 5.4 rebounds in 442 games. Number 9. Thomas Robinson, 5th pick of the 2012 NBA Draft. Another athlete who was supposed to dominate both ends of the glass is a bust. How come? Well, maybe it's his lack of discipline, temper, and maybe he just isn't getting better. You know you made a mistake if you're the Kings and trade a player who you just drafted with the 5th pick in his first year. To be fair, he didn't have a chance to be a starter, he didn't get serious minutes, but some of it should be his fault. Do you know how NBA loves those stretch fours? Well, Robinson has attempted just 6 threes in his career and hasn't made any of them. Okay, so he plays close to the basket, he's a beast there, right? Well, his shooting percentage is 47%. He did have a sort of solid stint with the 76ers when in just 18.5 minutes he averaged 8.8 points and 7.7 rebounds, but that lasted all of 22 games, and after failing to make an impact with the Lakers in 2017, he hasn't been on an NBA team since. His career stats: 13.4 minutes, 4.9 points, 4.8 rebounds in 313 games. Number 10. Anthony Bennett, first pick of the 2013 NBA Draft. Is there even any debate here? I mean, he's number 10 on the list, but that's just because I'm ranking them as they were drafted. Bennett easily could and maybe even should be the biggest bust ever. So where do I start? So with some guys, you see what they did in college and you expect them to be at least as good in the NBA. With Anthony Bennett, you didn't see anything that should make him the first pick. Mistake number 1. He arrived in the NBA out of shape, he played out of shape, he was slow, inefficient, and just couldn't do anything right. He quite possibly has one of the worst, if not the worst, rookie year ever, averaging just 4.2 points and 3 rebounds on 35.6% shooting from the field and 24.5% from the distance. After just a year with the Cavaliers, he was traded to Minnesota. After just a year there, he was waived and went on to sign with the Raptors. He didn't finish the season and was waived by the Raptors. Then in the summer of 2016, he was signed by the Nets, but mid-season he was once again waived. He then moved to Europe where he averaged just 1.2 points in 10 games and got released. He returned to sign with the Phoenix Suns but was released after less than a month, and before this season he signed with the Rockets but was waived during training camp. What a trip! For his career, Anthony Bennett has played in just 151 games and holds averages of 12.6 minutes, 4.4 points, and 3.1 rebounds. Number 11. Ben McLemore, 7th pick of the 2013 NBA Draft. Is it a surprise at this point that Sacramento drafted another bust? No, not really. So add one to the list, Ben McLemore. He was known for his outstanding jump shot and the form looks good, but it just didn't translate in the NBA. When speculating why he has been such a disappointment so far, people notice that he has a low basketball IQ and no confidence. Sounds about right. He spent the first 4 years of his career in Sacramento, mostly starting but averaging double-digit points in only one season. More importantly, he was inefficient, shooting just 42% from the field. After his stint in Sacramento, McLemore then signed with the Memphis Grizzlies, but failed to prove his worth and was traded back to Sacramento. Sacramento already knew what they had in him, and he ended up playing just 19 games before being waived. Before this season, McLemore signed with the Houston Rockets, and let me tell you, he's been good for them. In a limited role, he's been able to average 9.8 points and 2.2 rebounds on his career-best 44.5% shooting from the field, and respectable 39.5% on his threes. He has a chance to be a good rotational player, but for now, he'll remain here. For his 431 career games, McLemore holds averages of 23.6 minutes, 9 points, and 2.4 rebounds. Number 12. Dante Exum, 5th pick of the 2014 NBA Draft. I like to root for foreign players, especially the one who was once considered one of the best prospects for the 2014 NBA Draft. Unfortunately, Exum failed to impress right away. His shot wasn't falling, and as Utah Jazz, might I say, starting point guard, he managed to average just 2.4 assists. His rookie year was his only full season. Since then, he has battled many lower body injuries. He has never averaged double-digit points, more than 3.1 assists, and most importantly, he just can't stay healthy. After playing 82 and 66 games in his first 2 seasons, Exum has appeared in only 91 games through his last 3 seasons. This season, Utah decided to give up on the talent of Exum and traded him for Jordan Clarkson. As a Cavalier, he managed to score his career-high 28 points just before all this Corona stupidity started. It remains to be seen if he can salvage his career with the Cavs or another NBA team. His number 1 priority, though, should be staying healthy. For now, his career averages are 18.5 minutes, 5.7 points, 2.1 assists in 239 games. Number 13, Nick Stauskas, 8th pick of the 2014 NBA Draft. Here we go again, Sacramento. As the 8th pick, it was thought, at least by the Kings, that Stauskas would develop in one of the best three-point shooters in the league. So much for that one. After shooting just 32.2% from the 3 and 36.5% from the field, Stauskas was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, after just 1 year with the team that originally drafted him. Nice job, GM. In Philadelphia, Stauskas got more playing time but didn't exactly improve that much, so in just his second year with the 76ers, he was traded to Brooklyn. 35 games to finish the season there, and he signed with the Trailblazers. But at the 2019 trade deadline, he waved goodbyes to Portland fans and was now a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. For 3 days, because he got traded to Houston, who just hours later traded him again, this time to Indiana, who waived him. After 3 more days, the Cavaliers signed him. He played out the rest of the season with the Cavs and this season didn't make an NBA team, instead going to Europe to play for Baskonia in Spain. They terminated his contract in February. For his NBA career, Stauskas played in 335 games and averaged 19.9 minutes, 6.8 points, and 2.1 rebounds per game. Number 14, Jahlil Okafor, 3rd pick of the 2015 NBA Draft. Considered one of the biggest busts in recent history, Jahlil Okafor wasn't necessarily bad, especially during his rookie year. After all, he did average 17.5 points and 7 rebounds per game. He could always score in the post, but it's just that everything else is so bad, especially his defense. And as the 3rd overall pick, you have to be able to contribute more to a team that throws such a high pick at you. It didn't help that Philadelphia had a logjam at the center position, but Okafor himself didn't do anything to distance himself from the bunch, and with the arrival of Joel Embiid, he waved bye-bye to Philadelphia. In Brooklyn, he didn't do anything worth mentioning, and for the last 2 seasons, he's been playing for New Orleans as the backup center, bringing modest production in limited minutes. He's still young and has a chance to improve his defense, but so far he's considered a bust. He has played in 218 games and has averaged 20.4 minutes, 11 points, and 5 rebounds. Number 15, Mario Hezonja, 5th pick of the 2015 NBA Draft. Remember all the draft hype about Hezonja? Some people thought that it was an absolute steal for Orlando when they took Mario with the 5th pick. So much about that thought. In his rookie year, Hezonja averaged just 6.1 points on bad shooting. In his second season, he got worse. By the time Hezonja started to show at least some glimpses of what could be, Orlando had already declined his 4th-year option and he was bound to go to the free market. 1 year with the Knicks, and this season he played for the Portland Trailblazers. No, the label of bust still applies. Apart from some highlights here and there, he hasn't really improved. He doesn't have a reliable shot, his defense could be better, and all in all, he just hasn't proved his worth. So far in his career, he has played in 324 games, averaging 18.5 minutes, 7 points, and 3.1 rebounds. Number 16, Emmanuel Mudiay, 7th pick of the 2015 NBA Draft. The thought that Emmanuel Mudiay's game would transition well into the NBA wasn't crazy. I myself thought similarly, but if anything, his erratic game style is the only thing that's transitioned well into the big league. He had a great chance to be Denver's starting point guard, but rewarded them with only 5.5 assists against 3.2 turnovers. Additionally, he just can't really shoot. Without the shooting anomaly he's been having this year in Utah in limited minutes, his career field goal percentage would be well under 40%. That's just not a recipe for success. After 2.5 disappointing seasons in Denver, he was acquired by the New York Knicks. And while New York itself could be labeled as a bust organization, Mudiay did improve, especially last season when he managed to score 14.8 points per game in addition to his 3.9 assists. He has improved his shooting numbers this season as well, although in very limited minutes. But if there's a hope still held by his fans, you have to be happy with his improving numbers. I wouldn't bank on it though. So far, in 294 career games, he's averaged 24.1 minutes, 11.1 points, and 3.8 assists. Number 17, Stanley Johnson, 8th pick of the 2015 NBA Draft. Our last entrant from the 2015 NBA draft, Stanley Johnson, really wanted Detroit to draft him, and they did, unfortunately for the team. Although his defense is good, there is just nothing he offers on the offensive end of the game. His 8.7 points per game during his last season in Detroit is still his best career output, and his rookie numbers of 4.2 rebounds per game is his career high in that category. Shooting wise, if you want to forget those 18 games and 13.7 minutes per he plays last season for New Orleans, he has never averaged 40% field goal percentage and better than 30.7% from the three, which happened in his rookie year. This season has been a wash. Playing for the defending champs in Toronto, he's gotten only 4.8 minutes per game, and even in those minutes he's been horrible, with his 25.8% success rate from the field and 15.4% from the three. It doesn't look good, ladies and gentlemen. In his 305 career games, Stanley Johnson has averaged 20.5 minutes, 6.6 points, and 3.2 rebounds. Number 18, Dragan Bender, 4th pick of the 2016 NBA Draft. The Croatian disappointment, as I called him in the video I made a while ago, has really been a disappointment. His length, supposed shooting ability was really charming, but none of that came to fruition once he arrived into the NBA. He didn't start once for the Phoenix Suns during his rookie year. With double the playing time in his second season, his improvements were marginal at best, and then during his third and what would be the final season in Phoenix, his distance shooting just dropped off completely. A move to Milwaukee was seen as a big opportunity. Not only he would get to play with one of the best players in the game, but he would finally be playing for a different franchise who could use his talents. That lasted all of 7 games and 3.7 points. He recently played on 2 10-day contracts with the Warriors and actually was pretty impressive. In his last game before that Corona hell started, he scored 23 points and grabbed 7 rebounds. Although a lot of people from the Warriors have been padding stats since they have to come back from like 40-point deficits every game, he's so young still, and at just 22 years of age he has loads of time to improve, but it's pretty safe to bet he's not the next Porzingis. For his career that has spanned 187 games, Dragan Bender has averaged 20.1 minutes, 5.4 points and 3.9 rebounds. Number 19, Thon Maker, 10th pick of the 2016 NBA Draft. Hyped up mixtapes on YouTube and fan amazement along with so-called unlimited upside prompted the Bucks to draft a guy who on most draft projections was ranked as a late first round if not a second round pick with the 10th pick. He had some starts in his rookie year, but with just 9.9 minutes per of game time and some flashes of greatness, people were still wondering what Thon Maker could do with some improvements and added playing time. The improvements never came, the added playing time never came, so he was out of Milwaukee during his third year. And to Detroit he went, a place which already had a franchise center in Drummond. They gave him more minutes, but he just didn't improve, and this season he's back to playing around 13 minutes per game, producing the same way he has for his whole career. If you can believe his passport, he's just 23 years old, but in his 4th season you would like to see more of him. In 255 NBA games, he's been able to muster just 13.9 minutes, 4.7 points, and 2.8 rebounds per game. Number 20, Josh Jackson, 4th pick of the 2017 NBA Draft. It hasn't been all bad with Jackson. After all, he did average 13.1 points during his rookie year, playing just 25.4 minutes per game. Yes, his outside shot was super suspect. He improved on it in his second season, but his overall game got worse. Just 2 years into his career, Jackson was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. Right away he was sent to the G League, where he even got suspended for violating team policy. Not a good look if you want to restart your career. This season he has played in 18 games for the Grizzlies and still averages double-digit points, but it seems he's starting to be more consistent with his efforts. It might be too early to label him as a bust, but he definitely needs to improve a lot if he doesn't want to stay in this category forever. So far, in 174 career games, 24.7 minutes, 12.1 points and 4.3 rebounds. Number 21, Frank Ntilikina, 8th pick of the 2017 NBA Draft. Phil Jackson's last draft present to the New York Knicks organization. Frankie Smokes, the franchise, the French Prince. So many nicknames but so little game behind it. Ntilikina wasn't seen as a top 10 pick to begin with, but New York always surprises us. He's been consistent in his playing time, as for all 3 years he's been in the league, he's playing around 21 minutes per game. But it's hard to see him contributing at all in this league if he can't get better at shooting. As a point guard, you have to shoot. Well, you have to be able to shoot. He has a low turnover numbers, but that's because he doesn't take chances. And when he does, he doesn't capitalize on them. He doesn't attack the basket, can't shoot from distance. It's a recipe for disaster. He had a good showing for his national team, but the NBA is a different animal, and so far it seems like this animal is chewing up the French prince. In 178 games, he's been able to average 21.3 minutes, 6 points and 3.1 assists. So here is my list of the draft busts from the 2010s. 21 of them because it is the 21st century, I guess. Whew, that was a long one. I hope you stay with me throughout all of this video, and if so, you're a champ. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching the video. Who shouldn't be on this list, and maybe there's someone I didn't cover here? Which is the most disappointing player on this list? Whatever you have in mind, please write down your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like, as I really like that, and also subscribe. I want to get to that coveted 10K number. Thanks for everything, guys. I'll see you in the next one. This is Purple Prince, and I'm out.
A lot of kids have a lot of stories in the film. That's just from me growing up in Africa, and I'm sure somebody behind me, it could be Kyle DeMar. Can I finish my interview?
Can you pay me back
Pay you
for
back for
using
what?
my finger?
What does your finger do, man?
Can
Man.
I get my loyalty money?
From a big brother to little brother, I'm not paying. I got a license myself.
You got a license?
Yeah.